Good evening. Welcome to Star Talk. I'm Ken Nichols, and we're happy to have you with us on the program tonight. Yeah, the pollen. By the way, I know all of you. It's probably the number one thing on your mind is the pollen bothering Ken today. The pollen has attacked. I thought with all the rain yesterday, maybe the pollen would settle down, and maybe it did. Maybe most pollens in most places. Maybe they did, but my pollen here did not. So I'm hoarse again tonight. And I'm going to be clearing, I'll probably clear my throat a time or two uh, during the hour. But, you know, it's, it's nature's way for pollen to come and for me to be hoarse. It's how nature intended it to work. So here it is. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
How you doing, kid?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm hanging in there, I guess. I guess I'm gonna take that Cal Larson.
All right. I'm just getting the book in front of me here when I heard it was
Take
you.
great,
So
yeah,
you're
you
going to
take
take
great
the
care of
five for Bristol.
it.
Early Bird takes the five for Bristol. It's
Yeah,
in the book.
yeah. So when all everything's going up tomorrow on that tariffs,
Well, what we're hearing, what I'm hearing is that the tariffs are going up on China tomorrow, maybe to 104%. That's because that's not official until it actually happens, but that's what I've heard this afternoon, that it's going way up
oh,
tomorrow on China.
hmm. Well, I guess everything will go up like it's
Uh,
been doing.
we don't know. We don't know. We don't know if it'll actually happen. We don't know if the Chinese will react to it in some way. We don't know if there'll be some phone call late tonight where there's a discussion between the president of China and President Trump, and they change. We don't know. But if the tariffs on China go up to 104% tomorrow, yeah, some prices will go up.
Yeah, you talked about last night that racetrack down there in Draper.
Yeah.
I've been there when I was young. I went there one time when I was young, but I remember going there after it was all gone and everything. But they still had the pavement down there with trees grow through it and weeds and stuff like that all around it.
Well, I wonder if any of that's
But
still there now.
it might still be there, some of the pavement, but it's probably overgrowth.
Yeah.
Probably overgrowth and
Do you know
everything.
what year they closed it?
No, I don't remember what year, but I remember going to it. I remember when I was just a little kid, I went to it.
Well, I never saw it
Sure
because
did.
I didn't grow up in Eden, so or in Draper,
Yeah.
so I wouldn't have been close to it. But I never got to see it.
Yeah, I got to go one time when I was a kid. I remember going to it. It was
Well, it's
something, boy.
how much did it cost you to get in? Do you remember?
I don't even. I was just a kid. I probably wasn't about 5, 6 years old, probably kid.
Well, I wish
But
it
I
was
remember.
still
But I remember. I
wish
was
it was
born in
still there.
1955.
Okay, so that would have been about
Or
1960
60.
when you went then.
Yeah, yeah, something like that. Every bit of because I remember it. I remember going.
Well, I wish I'd had a chance to see it, but I never did.
Yeah, I wish it became like Martinsville did. You know what I mean? I wish we'd have had something like they did.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah. We'd have 60,000 people on Meadow Road every race day, getting in and out of there. That'd be fun.
yeah, okay. Well, I'll let you go, kid. I just want to tell you my driving, and I heard someone think it was still down there. It might be some of that pavement still down there. I don't know, but I know it was overgrowth years ago when I went down there last time I went down there.
Okay, well, appreciate your call, and you've got the five for Bristol.
Yep. Uh-huh. And also down at that track one time they had a go kart go one way, another go kart the other way. They hit and killed. I don't know if it killed both of them, but killed one of them. I know.
Oh no. Oh, that's
Oh
awful. I
yeah,
didn't know
yeah,
about that.
yeah. They had some money went down there when it was closed in and all that. But people take the go karts, mini bikes. That I'm gonna take my mini bike down there and riding it. But
We know now that
sure
you
did.
mention now that you mentioned that, I had a cousin who used to run go-karts, and back in probably about the mid 60s, maybe early to mid
Uh huh.
60s, he had a go-kart wreck, and part a piece of the go-kart pierced his neck. It didn't hit the vein, thank goodness. So he had got
Yeah.
some stitches, and he was all right.
Yeah.
I bet that's where he was. It was somewhere around Draper. It had to have been on that track.
Yeah. Yeah. Somebody was two persons went down there and one went the opposite way and one went the other way and go because they hit head on and killed one of them.
Well, that's
But
terrible.
anyway, yeah. Well, I'll let you go so somebody else can call in.
Well,
And I want
thanks.
to say, give Mr. Draper a shout out that I got his message. I was at the beach, and I didn't get to return it because I was asleep when when he did leave it. I listened to it. That when I woke up, I got up early, about 1 or 2 o'clock, and I wasn't gonna call and tell him I got it. But anyway, I got his message if he's out there listening.
Okay, good.
No,
Well,
and I'll talk to you later, kid.
thanks for
Bye.
calling. Good to hear from you. Uh, hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please. Hello.
Hey,
Hey,
good evening.
good evening.
How art thou?
I'm doing well. I guess you just heard that Early Bird got your message at the beach.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I'll tell you a little bit about the racetrack. I just
All
sent
right.
you a picture. I just sent you a picture from an aerial view of it,
Uh-huh.
where it's grown up all around it, but you can see the track itself. And the smaller end is turn 3 and 4. The
Okay.
big end is turn 1 and 2. And the grandstands used to be on the right, or actually be on the bottom of that picture I sent you. And I'm not sure when they closed it either, but I remember Fireball Robert setting the track on fire down there.
So
And
say he
uh,
set the track on fire?
well,
Literally?
it was a wreck, and he run across some fuel, run across the track, and he was dragging a piece of metal, I guess, and the sparks lit the gas on fire. That's just one thing I really remember.
Wow.
And I remember that it was Fireball Roberts. And then they closed it down. And then when we were young, I had an old hippie van, probably, I don't know, it was 17, 18 years old. And it was all fixed up inside. Had about 18 speakers in it and a Pioneer stereo 8-track.
Oh, Pioneer.
And
That used to be a big
yeah,
deal.
we'd go down there and we'd party on the racetrack. We'd drive out the dirt road, bump, bump, and do the holes and all that. And go on the racetrack, drive around the far side and cut the lights off, open side doors and turn the radio on and with the music on and just party right there.
Wow.
And Boone's Farm and stuff like that,
Yeah. Boone's
But
Farm. Yeah.
and then they started taking go-karts down there like Early Bird said. And after that accident happened, they dumped a lot left and right, all the way around the track. They dumped loads of dirt and rock. But before they did that, me and some of my friends down there, one of them nicknamed Sunkins, and the Early Bird can ask him, and then Bry Patch and some other Peter Hutt, people like that, we'd go around, and when I was about 15, I guess, we'd buy $25 and $50 cars and go to the service stations and get all that junk tires we could they was going to throw away, and we'd mount tires and we'd mount them down there and pump them up when we wore them out. But we'd take them $25, $50 vehicle, truck, cars and stuff. We'd run them around that track wide open, hard as we could run them in like second gear. And me being at 15, I was driving the truck. And I come out of turn 4 and it got right beside the cement wall where the grandstands were, and it was all rotted down to the wood on them. And I just took that truck like old Chastain did, and I put it against that wall, and all I could see was sparks All I could see flying was sparks. And I held that steering wheel against that wall till I got next to the end of it, and then I cut it back to the left, or I went right off the end of the track
So
in a steep bank.
you
But
invented that move.
I might have had, I don't know, but nobody videoed it back then. But anyway, and I remember doing that, and we bring them into the pit area and put more tires on them. They were junk tires, but we put more tires on them, pump them up right there, change them right there. And when the cars and vehicles and all were just about on their last leg and we knew it and it about had it, we would see who could roll the car the most number of times off turn one.
Oh, man.
We'd
Really?
launch off turn one and see who could roll the car the most, because it was nothing but 10 feet deep of thicket, briar bushes, and it would roll like he was on a pillow or a waterbed. And Buck Shropshire was down there with us. Old Early Bird remembers Buck Shropshire, yeah, people like that. Yeah, we'd have a helmet on and a seatbelt.
I was getting ready to ask you if you had a helmet.
Yeah, well, I mean, we had a helmet on the seatbelt if we was going to wreck them, but we didn't wear a helmet if we wasn't going to wreck them.
Well, now I'll tell you something somebody's going to bring up. And
there was no competition. There was no competition. It was just we'd run them around one at a time, hard as we could go.
All right. Now, somebody's going to hear this, and somebody's going to send me an email or call and say, where in the world did you buy a $25 vehicle? Of course, back then, $25 was real money.
In 1968, it wasn't hard to do.
Wow.
Junk car, $25-$50, parked behind somebody's house and all. So we buy them up, take them down there and tear them up.
You did make your own fun, didn't you?
Oh, good gracious. We sure did. Wasn't nothing else here. We had to make it.
Well, I'm glad you survived it.
Yeah, me too. Goodness gracious. Okay, have a good night, kids. There's nothing left down there now. It's been scraped away. That picture I sent you don't even look like that now. It's been all scraped away. It's commercialized and all of that.
All right. Well,
I was going to try to get Dale Earnhardt to come up here and do one of those shows.
Yeah.
Because NASCAR wanted to come up here and race this quarter-mile paved track. But the owners, which I sent you a picture of them, it was John East and, oh, my goodness, Dale, oh, my. Anyway, downtown Draper, man. They owned the property, and they wouldn't let NASCAR come up and race. And if they had a Martinsville, stuff would be here now instead of in Martinsville.
Wow. Why didn't they want NASCAR to race out there? It seems to me they wanted that.
I can't answer that, but Darrell Gregory at Draper Cycle can, and it may be at the Historical Museum now the reason they didn't let them come up, or if anybody ever knew the reason.
There would have been money in that.
But people didn't look at it back then like that. They looked at it like loud noise and a lot of people and disturbance.
Well, there would have been that too.
Yeah, but they didn't look at the future.
Too bad. Well, thanks.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. Emerson Manuel and John East. Emerson Manuel and John East was the one that wouldn't let NASCAR come up and race their track. Okay, wow. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Right.
Yeah, I never knew that. Could have been a NASCAR track on Meadow Road. They surely would have had to widen Meadow Road beyond what it was back. Of course, it's been widened since. I don't know if it's been widened enough to handle that kind of traffic. But boy, that would have been something if NASCAR had established itself in Draper. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Well, good evening, Mr. Ken.
Good evening.
Well, I was, well, you're not on in Danville tonight, but you're on, and Charles had the other guy on today, so I couldn't call him.
All right, hold on a second. I didn't understand. You said I'm not on in Danville, but I'm on? I don't understand that.
Well, I can reach you, but you're not on in Danville. It's that preacher guy talking.
Oh, okay. Well, where are you seeing us?
I see y'all from Danville on channel 17 on Comcast.
Oh, but we're not on in Danville, you said.
No, I'm definitely going to have some words with Charles.
Okay. By the way, you may know this already, but anytime we're not on your local station, you can always go to YouTube and search for Ken Eccles Live, and we'll be there.
Okay, I'll check it out. I'll have to go on to my other phone.
All right. Well, you don't have to do it this second. I'm just make sure you know that.
Okay, YouTube, Ken Eccles Live on YouTube.
Yep, it's there.
Okay, I'm still going to scold Charles for it.
Well, it's always good to scold Charles, and there's every day there's a reason to scold Charles. So don't hesitate to do that.
Oh, I'm not going to pull my punches. I'm just
Well,
going to go for. I'm just going to go for a gut punch.
No, you let Charles have it with all you have. Don't hold back anything.
Oh well, I could fire him and let the other guy run the show for a while.
Well, yeah. If you are you now the majority stockholder?
I could be. I could be something bigger.
All right. Well, I'm going to let you handle that because I try not to get involved in big deals like that, especially when there might be crime involved. So I'll leave that up to you.
Oh, there's no crime being committed. There's not
Right.
going to be no body. There's not going to be no body flying around.
That's exactly what you should say. You should keep saying that.
Why? What could bad happen to good old Charles?
Yeah, sure. Keep saying that. You don't know nothing about nothing.
Yeah, I don't know nobody. Nobody don't know me. I'm Mr. Nice Guy.
All right. If I was your lawyer, that's what I would tell you to say.
This is why I paid 2 lawyers to keep me out of trouble.
Good. Glad to hear it.
Okay, Ken. We'll talk to you soon, buddy. Oh, remind Mark Mayadan, Mass Singer, tomorrow night.
I will remind him. Thanks for calling. All right. Phone line is open at that number. The email address is keneckleslive@gmail.com. And here's an emailer that says, "Hey, Ken, this is Jack. Put me down for the number 11 this week for the three-peat." Whoa. Picking Hamlin for the three-peat. Write that down in a second. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Okay, Ken. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
This is Nice Guy.
Right.
And before I forget it, I'd like to get the Chase Elliott this weekend.
All right. Number
Hello?
9. Number 9 for Nice Guy in Bristol.
Yeah. And the Draper Speedway was a NASCAR track one year.
Okay. At what level?
It was on the original.
Oh, okay.
Like
On the top level.
Like in 1956 or something.
Okay.
I'll throw you one of them programs that's got all that in it.
You've got a program?
Yeah, I got a NASCAR program from the Draper Speedway. I'll throw it in one of them papers.
Well, you don't want to give me that, do you? That might be valuable.
Well, if it is, you can use it. I don't need the money. I'm not rich, but I got no use for it.
Well,
but
I'd
anyway,
love to see it.
Well, it'll be yours. I'm gonna just throw it in there. I ain't got no, I've had it a long time.
Well, thank you.
But it's an original. It's got a lot of information in it about the Draper Speedway, and I think it was from the 50s. I think what's the guy up at Stewart, Virginia? He won the race on that day.
Glenn Wood.
It's got all. Yeah, it's got all that and all that information in there. It was a Class A track with Class A programs and all. But
Wow.
anyway, I mean, it was ahead of Martinsville and all the others at that time. But anyway, and they closed it down, and then they opened it back up in the '60s. But I mean, it was, I think, from the in the '40s to like '55 or something like that.
Yeah.
It was one of the top tracks in the country. But anyway, so you
Well,
got me down for Chase Elliott.
yeah, the number 9. By the way, I'm going to
Can
ask
you
you,
tell?
my paper was on the porch there. Did you throw it all the way up there on the porch, or did you bring it up there?
No, it was down. I threw it on the sidewalk. Somebody else might have carried
Okay.
it up there.
You must have an
I don't.
assist. Somebody, you must have somebody who follows you there, because somebody brought it up on the porch and laid it right at the front door.
Well, that's nice. That helps keeps you from having to walk down there.
Well, yeah.
I don't get it every day. Some days I'm missing it, or some days it comes late. But
Yeah.
it's better than nothing.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Something else too. While I got you on there,
Okay.
I've been getting a lot of calls from individuals, companies, and stuff that want to buy my land.
Mm-hmm.
I've got 6-8 tracts of land. But anyway, they will not leave a deposit,
Really?
and they have you fill out a paper and mail it in, on it. But in that paper that they mail you to fill out, they tell you that at any time they can back out of the procedure. So basically, all they're doing is getting listings,
Yeah.
And not going through the real estate procedure.
Uh-huh.
It's a loophole when they can get the listings and they don't have to go through the real estate. But anyway,
Well, now how
all
long
you got to do.
how long would they expect you to sit and wait while they decide whether they want to go through with it or not, and they don't even give you a deposit?
That they tell you a date, but they can, like I said, they can get out of it anytime they want to.
Okay.
So if they catch somebody and get a super deal on them, they'll go ahead and buy it. But other than that, they just take them and they try to sell it to somebody else.
All
It's
right.
it's a way to work around the real estate laws.
No, I guess it's
And
legal.
oh yeah, but they don't. It's legal, but it's really a listing, outside the rules.
Right.
Anyway, but they all you got to do is ask them what kind of deposit they leave, and they give no deposit, 0.
Okay. Well,
So
that wouldn't. I don't think that'd sound good to me.
well, they must be. I get 2 or 3 a week on it.
Really?
But anyway, yeah. So it's and one of them, I told them, my address, and they sent me one of those papers to sign, But like I said, it said on there that they could back out anytime they wanted to. So they got that on it, right in the middle of it somewhere. Anyway, I'm taking up too much of your time.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
I'll talk to you later.
Thanks for calling. Good to hear from you. So there was a season. I think he said 1956. There was a season of NASCAR at the Draper Speedway, as it turns out. Let's see. I need to remember Jack's email here. Jack wants the 11 for Bristol. Looking for Denny Hamlin to win 3 in a row, Jack is. And then Jack says, who's your driver this week? Larson is my driver this week. I've seen him run too many hot laps at Bristol not to pick him, so I would take the 5. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
How you doing tonight, Ken?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. that last caller, what's the nice guy? He seems like a really nice guy, man.
Well, that's why they call him nice guy, I guess.
Yeah, he seemed like a pretty good dude, though.
I think he
You
is.
know, he's talking about that land for sale thing. You know, I'd be kind of leery of that myself, Ken, because I've heard on the news here several months ago where people are selling other people's properties, and the owner of it not even know it's being sold until it ends up in court or something. I'd be leery of something like that.
I've heard about those things. Well, as long as he knows who they are, and they send him documentation to sign, so I guess based on that documentation, he would know who they are and where they are. So I guess he's okay as long as he has that information. It's those things you're talking about. People never, they don't know anything until they find out somebody's bought their property.
Yeah, I mean, that's scary to me,
Yeah. And
Well,
even
while we're
though,
on it,
if somebody does that to you, even though you will get your property, you will be able to retain your property. By the time you have to go to court and do all the things you have to do, you're going to be out money.
yeah, attorney's fees is going to rack up during the process, I'm sure,
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. I know this lady, my neighbor's selling her house, and she was talking to me about it the other night, and the realtor that she's dealing with, a reputable dealer and everything, but she was explaining to me the breakdown of what the expenses were, and she said that, you have a seller's fee, and you also have a buyer's fee. Now, does the property owner have to pay the buyer's fee also? How does that work?
I haven't bought or sold real estate in quite a long time. What I think is that's one of those things that you negotiate. When you negotiate the deal, that probably comes up there, so who's going to pay this and who's going to pay that. I don't think, I might be wrong, I don't think there's some specific law that mandates who pays that. I just think that's part of the negotiation.
Well, I did a little Google search on it, Ken, but I don't fully understand it. But, say if a realtor charges like 6% for the sale of the property, 3% of it would go to the realtor, and the other 3% of that 6% would go to the National Realtors Association. So I don't know really who's going to end up paying for it, whether it be the actual buyer or the seller, either one. But it sounds like to me the way she's explaining it to me, she's paying both parts of that.
Well, again, the last time I did a real estate transaction was in 1999. So I'm a little fuzzy on the details. But it seems to me that is something that we worked out through the process of negotiation, is who would agree to pay what. Now, I might be mistaken, or it might have been that way, and it's different now. But my major feeling, my notion is that that's something that you negotiate.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Did you watch the game last night, the basketball game?
Yeah, I did watch the game last night, and it happened again. One team appeared to be in control with 8 minutes left in the game, and then it all turned around. We've seen a lot of that this year.
Well, let me ask you this now. Why did the guy that they passed the ball to last for Houston, why did he not shoot the ball? I mean, the ball just went up in the air, and he couldn't touch it again after that, otherwise been traveling or whatever, but I didn't understand why he didn't take a shot.
He went up to shoot. I think that was Sharp. Was it Cryer or Sharp? I'm not sure which one it was. It doesn't matter. And then suddenly the Florida guy, Clayton, was in his face. And he was not going to be able to get the shot away. It would have been blocked. So rather than taking the shot and having it blocked, he just tried to let go of the ball. I mean, he did let go of the ball, I guess hoping one of his teammates would pick it up, but it was too late. Anyway, the reason he didn't take the shot is because Clayton was all over him, and he would have blocked the shot.
Okay, I couldn't figure that one out. But you know, you you was talking last night about that flag guy. You know, that foul on him. I thought I was the only one that had a problem with that call, but I agree with you and the other callers, man. I didn't see where there was really a foul in that play at all. It just, that one play right there could have, and I guess did throw the whole game.
Well, no, I didn't see anything in there that I thought should have been called a foul. I think it's important to note, though, obviously that made a big difference at the time. It gave Houston 2 free throws, and the 2 free throws put them ahead. But if
Right.
you're Duke, what you really have to think about is their last 10 possessions. They didn't score, didn't get a field goal in their last 10 possessions. And that's what really turned the game around. By the time that foul came, they had already done everything they needed to do to lose. So, it was the fact that Houston just shut them down in their last 10 possessions is really what was the major point in the game. Now, as far as the foul goes, if the foul hadn't been called, Houston wouldn't have had free throws. Houston did have the ball. They might have scored anyway. We never know.
Right.
But as far as the foul itself, it was a phantom foul. There wasn't any foul there.
No, I didn't see it. No. Last night's game too. I think Florida had the lead for like 67 seconds for the total length of the game, and ended up winning it.
Yep, I think they led 8-6, and then they led right at the end.
Yep.
That was really something. I mean, I thought they were done. I absolutely thought Florida was out of it. And then there you go. You never know.
That's true. I'm telling you, with basketball, one play can make a world of difference in the end.
Oh yeah.
I want to take the number 20 this week, Ken, if I could.
Okay, let's see. Mr. Pelham has Christopher Bell for Bristol. It's in the book.
All right, Ken. Thank you, man, and I appreciate your call.
Thanks for calling. Good to hear from you. Phone line is open. If you'd like to give us a call, you can also send me an email at kenickleslive@gmail.com. And let's see, my pictures of the Draper racetrack just showed up just this very instant. The email moves slow sometime. So now it's an aerial picture of the track with the big end and the little end. It's not entirely unlike Darlington in the way it is shaped, or the way it was shaped. Wow, that's interesting. And now I have a clear idea now of exactly where it was. I didn't have a clear idea of that before. I would love to have seen that. Hi, caller, you're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Hey, Ken, it's Mark Median.
Hey, Mark, how you doing?
Okay, how you doing?
I'm fine. Charles said to remind you about the Masked Singer tomorrow night.
Yeah, I was going to tell Charles I appreciate him reminding me of it.
Okay, good.
Do you ever watch that new kind of football league, UFL or something like that? Do you ever watch any of that?
The United Football League. I have not seen the United Football League. Have not seen them.
Yeah, I hadn't watched any of it yet neither, but I think it starts this weekend, don't it?
Yeah, actually, I think it started last week because I saw a lot of the promos during the NCAA basketball tournament. I believe it started a week ago.
Yeah. So you watched the ball game?
The basketball games? Yeah, I watched. I didn't see them all, but I saw most of them.
Yeah, I was talking about the one with last night when Florida won.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. That was quite a game.
Oh, yeah, I was watching that. And I was kind of questioning what Mr. Pelham was talking about, where the ball went up in the air and he just let it go, whatever. I know why he did that.
Well, that's why, because he wasn't going to be able to get the shot off. And then, of course, after he came back down, he couldn't touch the ball again. He was just hoping one of his teammates would get it, but time ran out.
Yeah, that's the first time I've seen something like that happen.
That does not happen very often. That's rare.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thanks, Ken.
Well, thank you, Mark. Good. Hey, oh, Mark. Mark, have you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was going to tell you. I just see you've already made your pick for Bristol, so that's what I was going to ask you about. But it's in the book. You got the 20. So thanks for calling.
Yeah. I got 20. Christopher Bell.
Yep, it's in there. Thanks.
Okay. Thanks.
Good night. Phone line is open if you'd like to give us a call at that number or send us an email at keneccleslive@gmail.com. Let's see. Emailer says, I didn't mean to email twice, Ken, but you were not on last week in Martinsville on Comcast, nor this week so far. I'm watching on YouTube. There is, I'll get back to that in just a second. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Yes, Ken. I wanna try number 20 this week.
Liberal takes number 20 for Bristol. You could use a good finish this week.
Oh, I could, but we got a long ways to go.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's right. There's a long way to go. And anyway, no matter whatever happens, you can fall back on your wire-to-wire accomplishment.
That's true. That is true. Oh, man. So it might be like a football player, crayons and everything.
Yeah.
Some records stand for a while, Ken.
Yep, that one probably stand a while.
Yeah, getting serious now, though.
Okay.
Okay, in 2 days, the market shared is $6 trillion. Then Biden left Trump the number one economy in the envy of the world. And in 3 months, he has people wondering if they can send the kids to college or even retire. CEOs no longer are paying pension now, so people depend on their 401ks, in which this man has destroyed. I asked Ken about 3 months ago to mark down the figures and all that were existing when this man came in the White House. And I said I'd give him 3 months. But after 3 months, the market and 401ks have gone from 45,000 to 37,000. And the effects of the tariffs have not showed up yet. Now, people who are predicting a recession, and where was our president meeting with the top economists? No. Hosted the Saudis playing golf. And no one knows what a disaster this may turn out to be. But he's working on his golf swing. So, anyway, the Republicans, the leaders have proposed a $800 billion tax cut in Medicaid, in the proposed budget to Medicaid. So, and one last thing, while imposing these tariffs, he even proposed a tariff on the island that's only inhibited by penguins. So I don't know how if they gonna fight back or what? Just swim it off. But
Well,
anyway,
we
uh,
have not seen so far any reciprocal tariffs coming from that island. Actually, I think there were two of those islands, so we haven't seen that. As far as the stock market goes, uh, I mean the numbers on the stock market speak for themselves. The numbers are what they are.
right.
But it'll come back. I know a lot of people are really upset with over their 401ks now, if their 401ks
Yeah,
are tied to the stock
yeah,
market. But it'll come back though.
yeah.
The stock market will.
Well, see, this is the thing, though, Ken. It may come back, but a lot of that is confidence.
Oh yeah.
I told you about a couple of years ago, the stock market is built on confidence and all.
Well, it
And
is.
a lot of countries and companies have doubts about our market in our country because they don't know if Republicans going one way one year, term, and then another term, the Democrats may reverse and go another direction. We have created so much doubt in our country and job market to where what they said about 1,000 people coming and locating new businesses here and all. But have you noticed they never give names?
Well, yeah, I've noticed that they never give names, and that's political talk. I think we all understand.
That's right.
We all
That's right.
understand political talk, and that's what that
Right.
is. But
That's right.
the one thing. Let's get back to what you mentioned. The probably the number one factor in the world economy, in our economy, and in everybody's economy, the number one factor that drives the economy. It's not dollars and cents, and it's not yen and rubles. It is what what is in people's minds. What do people
That's
think?
right.
What do people expect? That is
Correct.
the number one factor in moving the economy. And right now, a lot of people expect bad things. And well, who knows? Bad
Yeah.
things may come. I don't know. I can't predict the future.
Yeah. Did
But
you hear
people are
what
worried.
Larry Kugler even said?
And so people are just in a negative state of mind about the economy right now. Um, and it's happened, but it happens. We've seen it happen. We certainly saw it happen during COVID.
Yeah.
And
That's right.
eventually this happened and that happened, and
That's right.
people got better attitudes, and then
Yeah.
the economy
Well,
got better,
see,
and it will again.
one thing that's got people reeling now, I mean, even his top donor reeling, is that this tariff war, unlike COVID, was self-inflicted.
Well, that's true. But
You know?
here's what I think will happen. This is
Okay.
what has always happened in the history of economies. Uh, right now, it's scary. It's really scary, and there's no doubt about it. The tariff thing is very uncertain right now. People don't know what's going to happen with the tariffs. There's no way to predict it. We don't know. It's one thing today, and then it's a different thing tomorrow, and that creates more
Correct.
uncertainty. But at some
Correct.
point, and I don't know when it'll be, at some point, there's going to have to come a time when the president and his advisors and the people he talks to, there's going to come a time when they say, all right, it's time now to come up with a definite plan. We need to start negotiating with all these other countries. When it gets to a
Right.
certain point, everybody's going to be ready
Okay.
to negotiate. I don't know how long it's going to take, but it'll happen when everybody's ready to negotiate tariffs, and there'll
Right.
be negotiation, and they'll figure something out, and then
Right.
things will go up again. The question is, how long is that going to be? I don't know.
Right. Right. And lastly, what do you think about revoking the visas from people here from Sudan. I mean, what threat are those people to us? You take the basketball player from Duke.
Yeah.
He came here, get education, and pursue his talent. And then if he gets like a $40-50 million contract in pro basketball, those taxes are going into our economy, right?
Yeah, that's right. And as far as the him and the other student, the student visas that we're talking about here, I
Right.
don't think the State Department has suggested that there's any threat to us from those students. They're doing that apparently to punish the transitional government in South Sudan for not accepting repatriated people in the way that they said they would. I don't know the details of that, but they're not suggesting that the students are a threat to us. It's an administrative spat with South Sudan, and that's something we're doing, I guess, to try to get them to do something.
Yeah, well, put a tariff on the country, but students that come here the right way and not hiding or whatever like that, and then students that want to contribute. That's like these doctors and all from those foreign countries that come over here. You know, you'd be surprised how many our doctors are foreign doctors.
Well, no, I wouldn't be surprised. I've had 2 heart surgeries, and I've met met a whole lot of them. Well, I thank you for calling.
All right, thank you.
Good night. Phone line is open right now, and you can give us a call at that number, or you can send us an email at keneccleslive.com. And let's see, this other email that I was about, not on in Martinsville again tonight. There is a technical issue, and I can't explain it to you. For one thing, nobody has explained it to me, which I guess is the main reason I cannot explain it to you. But it's something that's going to have to get fixed, and I hope it will be fixed very soon. But that's what's been going on with us in part of that viewing area. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please. Hello?
Yes, Mr. Ken. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Fine, thanks. They was talking about Draper Speedway.
Yeah.
Dale Earnhardt run over there back in the days.
Really?
He did.
When would that have been?
It would have been in the 60s.
Okay, that would have been before he was when he was in the lower classifications back then.
Yes.
So he must have been really young.
He was in his teens.
Wow. Did you see him?
I did not.
Of course, then I guess nobody had any idea how good he was going to be.
Mr. Burris he lived in Leaksville. He was a race car driver.
Uh-huh.
Carl Burris, I think was his name. And he told me that he raced against Dale Earnhardt over there.
Wow. And who knew? Nobody had any idea that he was going to be a Hall of Famer and win 7 championships.
That's right. Let me give you a little trivia question.
Okay.
Do you remember when Rainbow Speedway closed down in Reesville?
I remember Rainbow Speedway. I'm not sure exactly what year it closed down, but I do remember it.
And I don't remember when it opened. It had to be in the 60s, wouldn't it?
Oh, I don't know when I think it opened before I was even around. Before they had, it was out there for folks who don't know. It was out there off of the old 29, just in the southern part of the county is where it was.
You're exactly right. And
And you know the big name I remember, the one that's still in my mind from Rainbow Speedway was Red Denny. Remember Red Denny?
oh yes,
He was big out there.
he was. And Parks Lawson,
That's right, another one.
he was a big name out there.
Oh, they used to have a time out there.
But it was just old dirt track, and it was fun to watch.
And they drew crowds. A whole lot of people went to those races.
It did. And but like I said, did you ever play basketball for Ruffin High School?
I did play basketball for Ruffin High School.
I remember you and going and seeing you playing.
Is that right?
I did.
Well, I hope you got your money's worth.
I did, and it was a good team back then. And but like I said, I remember you playing for Ruffin High School.
Yeah, we did have a pretty good team.
That was back in the days.
Oh, yeah. A long time ago.
Yeah. Well, enjoy your show, and like I said, appreciate talking to you.
Well, thanks for calling. It's good to hear from you. And I better check and see what time. Oh, that's what time it is. Anyway, what I was saying about Martinsville is there's a thing which is not telling you much information, but it's all I know. There's a thing that's got to be fixed, and they're working on it, and they'll fix it. Emailer says 70 countries have called to negotiate. This is about tariffs. 70 countries have called to negotiate. We're taking in $2 billion a day in tariffs. It takes time. The market will be right back with you. No worries. Well, that's true, except I don't think we're actually taking in $2 billion a day in tariffs. You know, there are a whole lot of different ways to interpret that, but the president's interpretation that the countries that we tariff are paying money to us for the tariffs is not quite right. I mean, the countries don't pay the tariffs. The money that we're taking in from tariffs is paid by the companies that import the goods from the other countries, not paid by the other countries. So ultimately, if Walmart, whatever amount Walmart pays in tariffs, they may not be doing it right now, but sooner or later, Walmart or whoever it is will have to pass those along to us. So yeah, it is true. It is absolutely true. The government is taking in money because of the tariffs. No doubt about that. What's not quite true is the money is not coming from China and from the European Union. It's coming from us. But that technicality aside, yes, there are countries, 70 of them, as the emailer points out. I didn't know it was 70, but I knew there were countries who have already said they'd like to negotiate tariffs. The big fish, of course, are China and the EU. And this is interesting. Hello.
Ken, we need you to take it to 803.
All right, thank you. This is live TV, folks. That's a live call from Martinsville telling me that I need to stay on the air until 8:03. So that gives us another 6 minutes. Now, am I going to get, of course, the first question in my mind is, am I going to get extra money for that extra 6 minutes? I don't know. Again, like real estate contracts, that's something to be negotiated, but I'm certainly going to demand, certainly going to ask for additional money if I have to do an additional 6 minutes. This emailer here says, Ken, I used to be a regular at Rainbow Speedway, probably before most people listening right now were even born. But I do remember Red Denny that you mentioned. He was one of the big drivers out there. Also, Mr. Lawson, Also, there was a man named John Davis and a whole lot of others whose names I have forgot by now, but it was like it was almost like our own version of NASCAR out there at Rainbow Speedway. These guys would compete with each other, and they all had their own groups of fans, and sometimes we would even fight. Well, it's racing, you know. Sometimes we would even fight, but we never did really hurt anybody. Well, that's good to know. Yeah, I was aware. Um, I was aware that there was an occasional physical confrontation at Rainbow Speedway, but you know what dirt racetrack never has an occasional physical confrontation? It's all kind of part of the game, and as you say, emailer, we never really hurt anybody. Um, Rainbow Speedway is, if somebody knows what year it closed, I want to say it closed, wow, I want to say it closed maybe in the late 60s is when they closed it down. And I might be a year or two off on that, but it seems to me it was in the late 60s when it closed. Well, now I've lost use of my email. I'll figure it out. Hey, Ken, did you ever go to Ace Speedway? It's out there in Altamahaw between Reidsville and Burlington. Have you ever been there? You know, I went out there one time. Actually, I might have gone out there 2 times. I know I went once and might have gone twice. It was, I guess, all the dirt and dust got in my eyes, and it makes it hard for me to remember how many times I was there. Yeah, I definitely went to Ace Speedway, and I think Ace is still open, isn't it? I believe Ace Speedway remains open. Ken, can you tell us who has picked who for Bristol so far? Yes, I can. So far, Mr. Pelham has the 20, Early Bird has the 5, Nice Guy has the 9, Mr. Leaksville has the 5, Mr. Draper has the 5, a lot of 5s here. Charles from Danville has the 1, Jack has the 11, Mark from Mayodan has the 20, Citizen D has the 9, Liberal has the 20. So that's, wait, there's one more that I forgot to write down, and I'm glad you asked me to read those, because I now remember that I forgot to write down Mr. NASCAR's pick. So I will add the 17, Interesting Strategy by Mr. NASCAR. Mr. NASCAR has the 17 for Bristol. So those are the ones I got right now. We have everybody else, I guess, will be heard from by tomorrow night, and then we'll have the full list. Mr. Draper has sent me something good here, if I can get it open. Come on, open. It's not open. I hate it when they send you an attachment and then Gmail will not open it. Well, it's going to be probably 3 minutes before this opens. So thank you, Mr. Draper. I appreciate it, and I probably won't see it until we get off the air. Did you ever hit your phone thinking if you hit your phone it'll work faster? It doesn't help. But we do it anyway. Okay, one more email here. Ken, I was listening about the man who said they keep calling and trying to buy his property. What about these people who keep sending mails and they want to buy your house? I get one of those every week. Is that some kind of a scam? I don't think it's a scam that I know of. These are folks, by and large, these are house flippers who want to buy your house and then do, improve it or change it or do whatever they want to do to it, and then sell it and make money is what that's all about. So they want to, of course, they're going to pay you cash. So they say, well, I always say, well, buy it as is. You don't have to do anything. So they want to buy it as cheaply as possible and then sell it and make a profit. If you don't want to sell your house, just throw that postcard in the garbage or in the recycling and don't worry about it. But no, I don't, at least most of those people are not trying to scam you. There may be somebody who is, but that's not generally a scam. And that's all the time we have, even with our extra 6 minutes for Star Talk tonight. We're on the air Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. Thanks for watching. I'm Ken Eccles.